So I was on my PC just waving my mouse around, and somehow I ended up on the Epic Games page. I somehow came across that Unreal Engine was just chilling there. Unreal Engine? Isn't that the system that was used to make Kingdom Hearts? Oh my gosh, this is free to use? Oh snap. Oh snap! Oh snap! I can create games? I have access to this power? My hopes, my dreams! I can make this a reality?
2,000 years later.
Damn, this is hard as hell. The idea of creating games as a kid is something no kid could ever dream of. Just the idea of creating your own world with your own characters, being bounded by your own rules that you've made up, is something no one would ever think that they could ever accomplish on their own. It's a feeling that you can't even describe. It's like your only limit is your imagination. And it's just really crazy to just think of it like that. You can literally do anything. However, learning Unreal Engine is not an easy task. There are a whole lot of things that you need to understand in order to become a solo developer. Which I am not, by the way, yet. But I have taken a lot of advice from the experts, so take my word for it. Things like creating your own assets, engineering your sounds, animating, understanding how to program, and much more. Many people would advise you to choose a different engine because Unreal Engine is such a big engine to use, and it's not really well suited for beginners. But I'm really hard-headed, and I suffer greatly for being hard-headed. However, I still learned a lot in the last 30 days of this journey. So much that I felt inspired to create this channel to share my progress with everybody. There's a part of me that believes that there are a whole bunch of people who are in the same boat as me. I would like to get to know people who are excited about this as I am. So if you feel like this video resonates with you in some type of way, send me an email. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what we're doing. Because I feel like Unreal Engine, or the reality of just being a game developer, can be such a lonely world. I mean, just think about it. I'm spending so many hours just trying to create a video game where you have so much to do, coding, creating assets, blah blah blah, you know what I mean. And then you'll have your regular friends or your parents or your family or people that you don't know, and they're asking you what's up and like, how are you doing and what's going on in your life, and you're telling them that you're trying to create a game. And for some reason you kind of feel like they're judging you in a way because they're thinking that you're spending most of your time playing video games. If you've tried to learn how to create a game using any game engine, you learn that it's a lot more than just creating a video game. You're learning how to code, you're learning how to create assets, you're learning sound design, you're learning how to create levels. Like, there's so much that comes with it, and there's so much creativity that goes behind it that I don't even think the average person can even fathom the amount of work it takes to get something like this done, whether if it's a small game or a large game. My dream is to create a third-person action-adventure RPG video game where I continue the story of a superhero that I made many years ago on my personal channel and share a compelling story about bullying. But before I do that, I need to learn how to create video games first. So I got on YouTube and I googled Unreal Engine tutorials. And boom! A castle building tutorial. That sounds like something that would be in my game. 5 hours? Oh man. Well, might as well do it. I learned a whole lot from Unreal Sensei's free tutorial. The beginning was quite the challenge trying to understand everything that I was doing, but once I got into the world building aspect, man, it felt like I was building Legos.
And I loved it.
As I finished the tutorial, I ventured out and began binging anything that was everything that had to do with game development. I was living and breathing it. I was listening to other content creators like Thomas Brush, Pirate Software, Unreal University, and much more. One piece of advice that kept sticking out to me was to not start on my dream game immediately. And man, did that hurt to hear, because that's exactly what I wanted to do first. But it makes sense though. I literally have no experience in anything, and I would end up setting myself up for failure if I ended up just making some cheap knockoff version of what I actually had planned in my head. Focusing on making smaller games and participating in game jams to build up my experience should be my main priority to get me into the destination that I wish to arrive at. So that's what I'm doing. I decided to do a tutorial on recreating Pong and Flappy Bird, and I found that to be quite beneficial for me because of how fast they took to be made. Both games came out well, and it allowed room for me to add my own little twist to the game, whether it was changing sound effects or color textures. Although I feel like there is so much that I've learned from tutorials I have done so far, there is still so much for me to learn, so I decided to focus on one thing for right now, and that is understanding how blueprints work. It seems like programming is the most important part when it comes to creating a game, because when you know the coding side of your game, It's almost like you can do literally anything that you want with it. So I'm currently watching and taking notes from a YouTuber named Askadeb, who is a phenomenal teacher and is excellent at breaking things down to help his viewers who have no kind of coding experience better understand the programming side of Unreal. While I am doing that, I am also doing a couple more tutorials that have similar gameplay mechanics of the games I'm interested in creating and playing around with some of the features that Unreal has to offer. I'm really excited on where this journey is going to be taking me, and I would love for you to join me on this ride by subscribing to my channel and leaving a comment and tell me about your experiences with Unreal Engine. So stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to be talking about the first game that I'm currently making. So see ya!